Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode number
54.
54. Hey, we actually got it right. Hell yeah.
We got it right this time.
Yeah, we're on 54.
Counting really slowly.
Today we are in the garage. We are just bullshitting.
Hi, TNT faithful. My name is Sam, and I am thrilled to be sitting in between these two guys, smoking cigars, getting clouded with smoke right now. I love it.
Shane?
Yeah, this is
Why don't you introduce yourself to the viewers?
To the viewer, I'm Shane White. I don't know shit.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. He's our guest today. We're at his house.
Sorry, hang on. I just watched, I think, my mom park across the street. She's going to come steal my kid. That is not my mom. That's my brother-in-law. Anyway. Yeah, I'm Shane White. We're using my house, so I'm collecting 50% of the revenue from
okay, buddy.
The revenue, yeah, because there's a lot of revenue coming in right now.
That's why I said revenue, not profit.
If we're making revenue, I don't know where that's coming from.
Well, you got to start up a razor blade company, man. Every podcaster ever is sponsored by a razor blade company, and if you own the razor blade company,
I know. You know, it'd be like Manscaped, right? Where they call it the lawnmower or whatever it is.
Yeah, they did just come out with that. What's the other one? It's the single blade. It's like Jack's single blade dick shaver, something like that.
If TNT Boys come out with them, it'd be the Mad Bomber.
What?
It'd be the Mad Bomber if TNT Boys came out with one.
The Mad Bomber?
Because TNT blows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
come on, Kale, pick up the energy. Let's go.
I'm sorry. You know what I've been thinking about?
What?
You know, whenever we talk about our fans and stuff, our two fans that we have.
Right.
Whenever you say TNT faithful.
TNA.
I think that's what we're gonna start calling them.
TNT faithful. I always say that. Yeah.
I picked up
TNT
what you were
faithful.
putting down, brother.
Yeah. You just need to help out Kale every once in a while and finding his Google, loading up his Google so he can search things when we're talking about sports related topics.
Hey, I use chat.
I'm worthless there.
Hey, you are the life of the party. Okay. Yeah. What do you mean maybe?
Not drunk enough yet.
Well, get to drinking.
Okay.
It's like, I don't got to tell you twice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, Shane, what do you do for a living?
It's boring. I draw buildings. That's what I do. That's what I tell people. That's not what I do, but it's what I tell people. I'm a detailer. I draw the skeletons of buildings, and it's a necessary evil of the construction industry, and it's pretty boring. But recently I've taken to automating it, and I told my boss that I automated it, and that might have been a bad idea.
Molly told me about that the other day. I'm like, you just found a way to be more efficient.
Yeah, so I did. I found a way to be more efficient, but everybody around me is telling me that I just worked myself out of a job.
What do you mean by that?
Because if I can make the computer do my job for me, the fuck does the company need to pay me for?
Oh, so
at that point you could just be an IT guy, though.
To me, that sounds about equivalent to a self-checkout cashier at Walmart.
Kinda. Yeah, I'm the guy that I'm the cashier that invented the self-checkout machine. That's yeah. So
And it's in a way it makes you more valuable, though.
So yeah, basically what I've started doing is I'm developing. God, that's such a gay way to say it, but I'm developing tools for me and my coworkers to use to make our lives a little less shitty. So that's basically what I've transitioned over to doing in the last month.
Neat.
Yeah.
You also work with Brody, who's been on this podcast.
Well, something we didn't even mention yet is Shane is actually Molly's husband, who's been on the podcast before as well.
Sam, let's talk about your trip last week, or our trip.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot already in last week's episode, but it was a lot of fun. I'm still kind of riding the post meet or post competition high. I'm not going to say meet. Post meet. Meet. This could be taken out of context.
We call that a Freudian slip. We know what you meant.
Oh yeah. This week I've been really tired, to say the least.
Got to give yourself a break.
No, yesterday you were saying you were hungry too.
Yeah, I've been like starving and just tired all week, and I finally started lifting again. Yeah, like starving, like just hungry.
Are you like intentionally, or you just can't find enough food?
Like I'm not starving myself. I'm just like always hungry.
Oh, all right. We do live in America.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. That's part of like the post like competition like recovery part though, is like eating enough food to like recover and resting enough, and there's so much that goes into it, like rest, hydration, food. But I finally started lifting again on Thursday, just with some light workouts, and we're slowly easing back into it. I don't know when. I'd like to do at least one more this year, one more competition, but we'll see.
Hell yeah.
Fucking May.
Yeah, I know.
You get 3 more in. He's thinking about it.
The most I've done is 2 a year, and that's like for a high level powerlifter. Like most high level powerlifters don't do more than maybe 2 or 3 a year, just because with like the toll it takes on your body and even your mental, like your central nervous system is affected too. Like
high level powerlifter. I mean, I'm sitting here going like, wow, you would consider yourself that, but then I saw your numbers and I'm, yeah, no, that's fair.
well,
That's fair.
I'm not like world class elite, but I'm like
You could have lifted my
average
fucking car.
elite. That's what someone said. They were like, "Do you think you could lift like one end of a car?" I'm like, I don't know, maybe.
Okay, don't pick my fucking car up.
I'm not.
By the plastic fucking bumper. Don't do that.
Well, not. I mean, you're putting ideas in my head now, dude.
I'll just get you a couple of beers, and we'll see how this goes.
Hulk smash.
Wait, hang on.
I do have to be Hulk next month.
I have an idea. I got to rotate my tires. And I don't have a jack.
You don't have a jack?
But I do have sand.
You
I
do
got a
have a
jack.
sand.
I got a jack.
I do have a jack.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm just saying, maybe we could do it with just sand. Imagine how much faster
So-
it'd be if I wasn't having to squirrel that jack.
This
everywhere.
is probably gonna be the
Depends
only
on
time.
depends on the type of jack you have, I guess.
This is gonna probably be the only time that we really talk about this on the podcast. So my question is, I know you work at the detailing center and everything.
Okay.
Has tariffs really affected you guys? Like,
I think it's interesting that you think I make enough money to have any idea how the tariffs are affecting my job.
well, I don't know, because are more people building or more people kind of slowing down?
So, and as far as the tariffs go, and yeah, there we go. There's the thank you,
Got
you,
turned.
producer.
Shout out to Maya.
As far as the tariffs go, especially with the steel industry, they're kind of important, actually, especially with China doing what they have been doing over the last however long. Because they're a communist government, each individual steel company does not necessarily have to make enough money for itself to survive. So a lot of what the Chinese Communist government has been doing is producing steel and selling it at a loss in our economy and just dumping a shitload of cheap steel in the United States economy. And it makes it really hard for all of the United States steel companies to compete. So if you wanted to build a giant building, it's pretty easy to go buy Chinese steel that was sold at a loss, because the entire Chinese economy is supporting the entire Chinese economy. It's not like each individual company has to survive. So China has been trying to bankrupt the steel production industry in the United States for a long time. So
And I know JD Vance just visited South Carolina, right? The Nucor.
Yeah.
And everyone, I think that was kind of cool.
Yeah, he did.
And Nucor backs, these tariffs is what I saw.
So we have a lot of people who have been in conversation with people in those circles, in the upper levels. Maybe not
upper
specifically
levels, yeah.
JD Vance, maybe not specifically Trump, but maybe specifically Trump. Like I said, I'm more of a frontline grunt kind of guy.
Gotcha. So
I'm not a general in this war.
Gotcha.
So if we can get China to stop cheating, because it's kind of what they're doing. If their toy industry, their car industry, their concrete industry, their everything industry can make sure that they can still produce steel and just sell it to us for 10 cents on the dollar, then our steel companies can't compete and they will all go bankrupt. And well, that's not good for us. Because
so do you agree with what they're trying to do, trying to save and in a sense trying to bring the jobs back to America?
I don't know. I think that sounds like a good idea, trying to make sure that we've got shit to do and ways to make money, but it's such a broad scope that my opinion doesn't matter. So
I know we've talked in the past about that kind of stuff, and I was kind of curious about how the detailing center itself has been doing. Busy.
We're always busy. The specific building that I work in, we work for the entire country. Every single place, every single Volcraft and Nucor site in the United States does use us in some way usually, and some of our groups are a little busier than others at times. I think we've got some groups that are working 60 hours a week.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and
just on a computer.
Yeah,
I can do it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That would be too much for me. Like I could sit on my computer doing the Photoshop and everything for a little while, but 60 hours a week.
It's never the goal.
I'll tip my hat to that.
So we've got guys in that building that do different stuff. We've got guys that work on just joist and deck, which is basically just floors and roofs.
Right. So it's all separated basically.
Yeah, and then like what I do is I work with the warehouse people. So we do that, and I might only work 40 to 45 hours a week. And then we've got other groups that are working 60 hours, and we might cannibalize some teams. If I don't have enough stuff to do for 40 hours, then I'll move and I'll go start working on joist and deck. But yeah, so we're pretty flexible.
Nice.
There's a lot of smart people in that building.
Well, I know with my job, we get emails about every day about what's going up for prices on stuff, like a lot of electrical parts. So that's what we do. So my job, my boss, and he and I deliver the product that he sells, and what he sells is basically your typical residential or your agriculture pump panels, everything. So we kind of help provide this to keep the farmers going or houses built and all this other stuff. So yeah, we've kind of seen, it seemed like we've kind of been pretty steady.
Yeah.
So it's all right with me as long as it get me paid.
Yeah, I would say from my perspective, tariffs have had no effect on anything I do. None. From my perspective. I'm positive that I have a limited perspective. And I wouldn't notice if it did. So.
I find it funny how people on the left side are like, oh, well, we're doing all these tariffs and everything and whatnot. And fucking Obama tried to do it too. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, we're good for it. But now when Trump wants to do it, oh, yeah, fuck this guy. That's how I saw it. But
yeah, as far as left and right goes and perspective on the tariffs, pretty much everybody that Trump has put tariffs on has tariffs on us.
Right.
So if tariffs are so evil, why do they have tariffs on us? That's basically my perspective is like, oh, how could he do this? Well, they're doing it to us first. Like, did you know there's like a 300% tariff on American milk products
Yeah.
going to Canada?
Yeah.
Canada. You know the people that we signed NAFTA with? The free trade agreement? Yeah, those guys. Those motherfuckers. They're taxing the shit out of our cheese because they don't want our cheese because they want their farmers to be able to sell their cheese. Fair enough. But
You know, I'll be honest, I'm for the idea of, hey, you know, let's make a country made products, right? I'm for that. Um I don't know. I just feel like in a way they could probably go different about it, but I don't know. I feel like when I say that I sound dumb. I try to keep up with it as much as I could, but
it's tariffs are a complicated thing. They're very complicated because if it were simple and straightforward, you basically say nobody should have tariffs.
yeah.
Nobody should. But, and this is a big but, and I'll go back to my experience.
Big butt.
Well, yeah, I smallest ass here, and I'm throwing the biggest one around. I'll use the Chinese steel as the example. They're basically cheating in a competitive or in a free market. They're
Which
basically cheating.
they've been doing that for years. So I
Well,
mean,
yeah. So you put tariffs on their steel, and you try and balance that out, and then they put tariffs on the nothing that they import from us.
yeah.
Because the United States buys more shit from everybody else. I mean, it's just a big, complicated problem. And at the end of the day, my opinion doesn't really matter. My opinion doesn't really matter, and my wants and needs basically boil down to, the fuck do you mean gas is $6 a gallon?
Yeah,
You know.
no shit. Hey, thankfully though, where we're at, it's about $3 versus California and like Texas and everything. But I already know that when I cut these out to shorts, someone's gonna be like, "That's wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong. You're fascist." Everything like that. We don't really.
It'll be taken out of context. It'll be taken out of context, and people will be shitting all over us.
Well, we really don't talk about politics over here. So I mean,
That's all we've done so far.
no, on our podcast.
I mean,
this is rare.
We don't.
This is literally the most we've ever talked about politics.
so
Zach and Vance, I hope you're proud of us.
I'm kind of just like, I've just been kind of sitting here and just kind of chilling, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
people can say like, oh, the gas prices aren't this, that, and the other in other places and whatnot. But at one point in time, I used to live in Phoenix, which honestly is pretty damn similar in people and prices
Yeah.
to here. But I went and picked up an industrial air conditioner that my boss at the time had bought, and it was in L.A. So I had to drive to L.A. from Phoenix, and it's an industrial air conditioner, and the thing barely fit in the back of the dually.
Jesus Christ.
Right. So the gas prices in L.A. when I was doing this were like $9 a gallon. For
Yeah, fuck that noise. Yeah, fuck that.
Right. And good God, and I am pretty Midwestern, and I understand that as far as a majority of the world is concerned, I may as well live under a rock. But those fucking people in LA drive something different, and their gas prices were insane. I had it was like a 3,000 pound air conditioner sitting in the back of that dually, and I'm trying to get on their freeways. You turn on their blinker, and it's funny because everybody else in the world calls it a turn signal. Turn signal. Out here we call them blinkers because, God damn it, that's what they do.
I call them turn signals. Singles.
Yeah, but you're like fucking Canadian or some shit, so that doesn't count.
Hey, don't tell the people that.
Then he said
Yeah,
singles.
signers. That's how we know I'm getting enough beer.
Well, then he said singles.
Flashing singles in your area.
Turn signals. Singles.
Yeah, but you turn on the blinker and the gaps just close out there in LA, and their freeways don't just end with shoulders; they end with concrete barriers.
Their freeways are ridiculous.
Yeah, so you're like, well, I guess I'm coming over, and if I kill someone, well, at least I'm taking someone with me because I'm not just gonna hit that concrete barrier and die alone. And by God, you turn your blinker off and you just go in, and they don't care. That's just how they drive, with some form of aggression. And out
I
here,
can only imagine that their road rage there is like it's like up like 10 times worse than we are over here.
I remember.
You would be more to expect someone to have a gun over there.
Well, even if they do have a gun, they're only allowed to have 5 shots in it. So,
Yeah.
dodge for a little bit. Return fire.
Dodge and weave, dodge and weave. You lost all your bullets, boy. You suck.
Yeah. Basically, California gun laws. The way I'm going to make fun of them is basically you get no more than 5 shots and the gun can't look cool.
You can't hold it sideways. You got to hold it straight.
No, you can hold the fucker sideways.
I know, but
it better not have a pistol grip. That makes it more deadly.
mm,
Kind of the whole fucking point of a gun, isn't it?
yeah.
Downtown LA, you can only have like hunting rifles.
What?
So seriously, in California, I think it's illegal for a lot of different types of guns to have pistol grips. So like you could not have an AR-15 with a pistol grip. It has to be like a hunting rifle type grip, where you basically grip the stock.
But you see all these kids with these switches, which is the modified pistols that could shoot like rapidly.
Well, gun laws are meant to prevent those.
Yeah, but you're still gonna get a way to get them. You know.
I know.
I think you and I both know that.
Yeah, laws really only apply to the people who follow them. So, here, hold that. I'm gonna dick around here.
So anyway, we'll move on from the politics. That's enough. That will make you feel included, Sam.
Turn signers. Singles.
You're never gonna let me live that down, are you?
Signers. Singles.
Shingles.
Signals, by the way. Yeah, that was a nice little back and forth.
Yeah, I hope Zach and Vance are proud of that.
Yeah.
The TNT Boys finally
We won't
had...
steal your thunder too much, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll steal the thunder. I'm totally responsible for those tariffs. Totally capable of stealing thunder for that.
You heard it first.
Understand them.
Anyway, so Shane, you got any drunk stories you like to talk about?
Ooh.
Are you referring to the last time you were in my garage?
Yeah, well, anytime.
Specifically that one.
Just any stories.
Any well,
We're just, hey,
Any.
man, this episode is just basically bullshitting and just letting loose. Talking shop.
I have a favorite one I like to tell.
Please.
It's too bad the guy isn't here.
Oh, no. Which one?
The New Year's Eve day, so midnight on New Year's.
I have a New Year's Eve story. I'll let you tell yours and then I'll tell
I'm trying to
mine.
think of the year. I don't think I was maybe 24, 23, 24, so that would put it at math is hard.
You're telling me, brother. You're telling me.
24, so how old are you now? 30?
Shut up.
I should make a meme
Hey,
of
dude, I
that.
turned 29 this year.
I should
so-
make.
Oh no, 29.
I should. Hey, I should
30's
make.
coming
I
for
should make you the
Yeah.
meme of where you're just sitting there and the math equations and everything are just popping up and you're just like,
That'll be the new confused gal going.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my parents at the time owned a limo. They no longer do, which is unfortunate. They did sell that.
Disappointed.
Yeah,
Disappointed.
we were all devastated, but none of us
Fun
wanted to
times.
drive it.
Was the maintenance was probably sucked sometimes.
Yeah, it only got driven maybe 2 or 3 times a year, which is kind of hard
I
on.
think
a
I
vehicle.
only rode in that once we went to Top Golf and once when we went to that arena football game.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, we just
Those
we
are the
didn't-
only times.
Didn't drive it anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway, my parents had 7 kids. What do I need to do this? Okay. Producers yelling at me to holler
Yeah.
into the mic.
Hey, at least you don't live with her.
Ooh.
She yells at me
That
all
was
the time.
probably the wrong thing to say.
I know. Hey, she yells at me all the
Coming
time.
in with the wrong message.
I love her. Don't worry, guys. I love her to death, but I get yelled at.
So, all right. Anyway, my parents,
She's laughing. Don't worry.
They have 7 kids, and
She's
rather
eating
than
pizza.
buy a big fucking van for 40
Yeah.
grand at the time, they're probably like 80 grand now. They bought a limo for pretty cheap because nobody wants a used limo.
Okay.
And we used it for drinking a lot. I think the first time I ever drove that thing, my dad had called me from a bar and was like, "What are you doing?" It was like 11 o'clock, and I was playing video games. I'm in high school.
I think
I'm
you told us
16
this one,
years
yeah.
old, and it's like Tuesday night, and I should not have been awake, but I was just playing video games, and I'm like, nothing. I'm doing nothing. It's like, good. Go get in the limo. I need you to come to this bar, and I need you to pick us up. Okay. Well, it was a high school basketball team coaching staff that he was drinking with.
Is it the Norfolk one you were telling me about?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
boy.
I drove those guys around until they closed down the bars, and they thought my dad had rented a limo on the spot, and they were just throwing
Small
money.
town Norfolk, USA. No,
That was part of the disbelief. They were
Yeah.
like, holy shit, my dad made it happen. Holy cow, I can't believe. So they thought I was a professional driver. I don't know why, because I'm 16. It just did not look like somebody who would be professionally driving a limo. But we closed down the bars, and I think I didn't get home till 3 or 4 in the morning. Like I said, it was a Tuesday night, middle of the school week, and
What were they doing?
they were celebrating getting third at state.
Hey, man.
So they won their last game,
Yeah.
right? They got third.
Yeah, they got the third place.
What year was that?
trophy.
Fuck if I know. Probably
Should've
11.
been like, yeah.
I
think
so-
11.
Yeah.
Okay, it's during the time I think I know what time.
Yeah. So, yeah. It was probably 3 or 4 in the morning before I finally got home, went to bed. I still went to school the next day, and my dad obviously was hungover. He catches up with me after school, and he's like, hey, sorry, I thought we were just going to go for a ride between bars, and then you would go home, and then turned out, and I was like, no, it's fine. Made $600 last night. If you ever need me to drive anyone else around, you let me know. Made $600. So. But anyway, so that's this limo, and the night of my favorite story to tell is
Hold on, pause that. We should like commentate him trying to open that chair. Looks like he was struggling a little bit.
it
Hey,
happened.
he got it. It's the same as yours.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, continue.
That's clutch.
Okay, so my favorite story to tell about that particular vehicle is my brother was driving.
All right.
He was, man, maybe I was only 21, 22. Anyway, so he's driving. He's not old enough to drink. And we established a rule preemptively. You throw up in the limo, it's a $100 fine. Because obviously, if you've thrown up in the limo, you're too drunk to clean it, which means somebody else is going to have to clean it.
Right.
You pay that person $100 and call her square. It's New Year's, and we pick up my buddy Dylan Brown, and I think he was having some girl trouble at the time, so he was ready to drink that night. We're bar hopping, we're picking people up, shuttling people around, drunkenly. We didn't know half the people.
Drunkenly. That's a new
no,
word.
drunkenly.
Love that word.
I love
We end up at the bar here in Pierce.
Charlie's?
And- Yep, Charlie's.
Okay.
Was it Charlie's at the time? Probably not. JoJo's at the time. They had a poll that night. And my buddy Dylan, we showed up at the bar. And he sees that poll. And he's like, I got this.
What kind of whoa, what kind of pole?
What do you mean, what kind of poll?
Did you like
A stripper poll.
okay, we're thinking the same thing. Okay, good.
A poll. I'm not saying pool table.
No, you said pole, so
Pole.
I'm thinking like
He's talking
okay,
about
is
North Pole.
okay. You know what? Just continue on. Continue on with your
So-
stinking story.
That was
Ooh,
good. That
we
was.
just witnessed a great shot.
Assault.
Daughter versus mother.
Assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
So anyway, when we get to this bar, he's dancing on the pole. He's so drunk. At the time, he was an extremely conservative man.
Mm-hmm.
And we're leaving the bar, and he's doing the wibble wobble. Sitting
The
in his seat.
wibble wobble.
I mean, he's doing this now. in the seat in the back of the limo. And one of our friends that we picked up at the bar, yeah,
Yeah, we picked her up at that bar, not a previous one. She had just joined us on our drunken debauchery. Is like, he needs bread. He needs bread. That'll help soak up the alcohol. So we stop at her house.
some milk.
She comes back.
He needs some milk.
She comes back with a loaf of motherfucking bread.
Yeah.
The whole loaf. And she's like, here, eat this. It'll help. And we decide we got to get to Hader and we got to drop him off.
This is Dylan, your neighbor, right?
Yeah. No. Dylan Brown.
Oh.
This is my best friend.
You know, speaking of Dylan Brown, he actually just followed us on TikTok. So when he hears this, I'm going to laugh.
Oh, this is all right. So I'm just going to embellish all the details then, too, because he can't even defend himself now.
Also, so you whoever you telling your story, we have a little disclaimer. Is we don't care who you name drop. If you want to name drop anyone on stories, that's totally fine. We're not going to deal with it.
I don't think Dylan would care.
No, I know, but I'm saying if you have other stories.
He might.
We
might
talked
care.
about one of our buddies last
Yeah.
week, and we didn't name drop because he was like, I don't want to deal with it.
Well,
That's a different story. That's a closer friend.
That's true.
Because I got some stories.
We three know the distance from Pierce to Hader. On a bad day, it's walking distance. On a bad day, you could walk there if you needed to, but it'd be a bad day.
It'll be a very bad day.
So this motherfucker's sitting in the back of that limo with a loaf of bread and a wibble wobble. We get, I don't even remember how far, I was pretty drunk, but we get somewhere between Pierce and Hader, and this motherfucker goes, stop the car. And I'm sitting next to him like, what do you mean stop the car? And he drops the loaf of bread, cups his hands together,
Oh my god!
and just vomits into his hands. And I was like, well, shit. So I reach across him and I roll down his window, and he just chucks the puke out the window. Passenger side, whoop, whips it. Double fisted puke.
Oh.
Double fisted
Oh.
puke, just out the window. And I was like, wow, why don't we stop the vehicle? No sense of urgency because I'm pretty fucking hammered. And all the women look back and see me and Dylan, Dylan going, and just fucking handfuls of puke out. And me going, wow, that looks pretty bad. And all the women in the limo were like, stop the car! Up front. So my brother, who's driving, he slams on the brakes, and I go flying out of the seat because I'm a light little bitch. And by the time we get slowed down to about 15 miles an hour, one of the gals had opened or unlatched the door, and we're slowing down at a pretty abrupt pace, so the door flies open, and Dylan falls the fuck out of the car and is rolling down the ditch, continuing to puke.
That sounds like a Family Guy
Hey,
flashback.
it'd be funny
Sounds like
if your brothers animated something like that. That would be freaking
oh,
hilarious.
gosh.
Oh man,
They could.
I mean he goes.
I would
rolling
pay him
down
to do it.
like a sprinkler, like the end of a pivot. Just, wow, yeah, just puking down into the ditch. I'm so drunk I'm worthless, and I'm just sitting there going like, wow, look at that, that's gonna be funny as shit.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Oh, it was bad. One
That's
of
gonna be a funny story to tell one day.
one of his work buddies, I think we had picked up 2 bars prior, and he was relatively sober, and he's a very caring individual, and he springs out after him and makes sure that he doesn't die. So he picks him up, dusts him off, and is like, wow, we need to get him home. And we were on the way there, but we get him back in, and we all right, we'll get him home, and then we'll continue the night. We get the vehicle up to about 45 miles an hour, and he pukes into his hands again. And it's basically just a straight up repeat from the first time. He went rolling down the ditch 3 separate times, and I say he went rolling down the ditch, falling out of the vehicle puking, and I say that, not making fun of him because I have done that myself. I have gone rolling out of a vehicle, vomiting before. So he's not alone, but he ended so full of grass and sandburrs and vomit.
Oh, I hate
But-
sandburrs.
Oh, yeah.
I get
Oh,
in
yeah.
my yard and I hate when I mow and they
Oh,
get
yeah.
on me.
Be showering for days.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. We eventually do make it home, and his work buddy, is I gotta make sure this guy gets inside and doesn't like drunkenly decide that he's gonna try and cook eggs or something for food, and not light the main on his stove, blow his house up or something. Just making sure that he gets to bed. So he walks him inside and he gets him to bed, and then he comes back out, and we continue the night drinking, and he was the only guy that ended up puking and needed dropped off like that. We did, before that night was ended, we did end up kicking a guy out for being kind of creepy, just kind of in the middle of the road. We stopped and kicked him out. 2 weeks later, he was convicted of rape.
Oh,
Anyway,
Oh.
Good thing you kicked him.
yeah.
wow.
So that's how our
Plot twist.
night ended.
Wow.
But I got a text from Dylan the next day. It was, what the fuck happened? Why did I wake up in a cold bathtub full of water?
You should have told him, like, hey, we cut your lung out. You should have, like, drew, like, a little picture or something.
Oh, man. Dude, he woke up in his bathtub, a full bathtub, fully clothed, still wearing his boots even.
Oh, gosh.
He caught pneumonia.
Oh.
He was sick for a couple of weeks. Poor bastard.
Man, that reminds me of the time that I was blackout drunk. I would like my producer to explain that story. Oh, she said no. So, your story reminded me of the time of how I went to a diaper keg. It was something casual, something cool. It did not end up that way at the end of the night.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, someone brought moonshine. A lot of it.
Doesn't take a lot.
Boy, was I fucking drunker than shit. And she had to come pick me up. She didn't know how drunk I was.
Uh-huh.
On the way back, it was a ride from hell for her.
Hang on. Drunk tumbling down the ditch covered in sandburrs?
Almost.
Not quite to that
Let's just
level.
say I
Of,
had to throw up like 5 times between here and Hater.
I love
not
that I
quite to that drunkenness level.
I don't get a no, and I don't get a yes. I get a shrug.
That's a yes.
Dude, I literally had to open that door. I sat on the fucking, like, I squatted on the door lip on the bottom. I sat there for a good 5 minutes. I remember somebody pulls up and says, "You guys all right?" I don't remember what you said, but yeah, no, we're fine.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh.
The DD is always, no, we're good. We're just taking a breather.
Sam, you wanna talk about Mimosa Fest? How drunk I got then?
Oh gosh, that was what, 2 summers ago.
Yeah, that was like the day we went to Omaha for my birthday.
So yeah, we went to Omaha. What did we do in Omaha that day? Did we do fat putter?
Yeah.
I think we went. It's like a
Mini
putt golf.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have
We
like
should go
different
sometime.
they have
Fun.
different like obstacle course like putt golf. It's really fun.
Okay.
It's groovy, man.
Groove.
You have to, one of the courses, you have to do Twister.
They have like different like little mini games within the course.
When you said obstacle course, you meant obstacle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, they have like different mini games within the mini golf. It's
Okay.
fun. Yeah,
Okay, I thought you meant.
and you can drink a beer too while you do it.
Oh fuck, I'm down.
He's
Only,
there.
hey,
He's
hey,
there.
only if you had a fucking limo.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, we went to Omaha, did the fat putter. We probably went somewhere to eat. Probably went to Olive Garden, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's about tradition for us.
Yeah, either Olive Garden or Texas Roadhouse.
Gentlemen, I would love to go back to the spaghetti factory. I never did work my way through that sauce list.
Spaghetti Factory is also top
Well,
notch.
If you're not busy next Saturday, I mean, I got nothing going on.
I'm gonna have to talk to my schedule.
The one out there?
Yep. The one who makes sure
Let me ask.
Spaghetti
let me ask
Factory
her.
would be a good pre-competition restaurant to eat at.
But it has to be in Omaha, though. That's the thing.
I know.
It's an only Omaha
There
thing.
ain't shit in Nebraska for powerlifting this year, and it pissed me off.
You could have ended the sentence. There ain't shit in Nebraska.
Well,
I mean, there is. You got to find it.
Kale with the quick vouch for Nebraska.
Most places have.
You got to go to
all the shit
Omaha or
in
Lincoln.
One city. Not even one city has all of our shit. You got to go to 2 of them, maybe 3 of them.
So people don't realize this is what we do for fun in the summertime. We sit around bullshit. And,
Literally sitting in a garage drinking and smoking.
but now we got a fucking podcast and shit. Now it's kind of like,
Yeah, I'm like stoked right now. I'm grinning ear to ear.
well, I mean, what else are we gonna do?
We do have a video.
What?
You're not here, and we have video. No.
Anyway,
Continuing on. Yeah, we ate at, I think it was probably Olive Garden. And then we came back to Mimosa Fest, was going on in Norfolk. Big party downtown, mimosas
What time of day?
all day. Food trucks.
I got back. What time we get back? About 5,
And I wasn't drinking,
5?
so I was like, and because I didn't want, because you had a little bit, right? Yeah. And he was plastered off his ass.
I got the all day.
And I was like, you know what? I will be the babysitter this time. Because
Maya got me the.
Maya did that before, and I was like, you know what? I'll do it this time.
I saw my
and
brother.
I didn't really feel like
Hey,
drinking
what was
anyway.
funny? I saw my brother, and he was surprised how drunk I was.
I didn't really feel like drinking anyway, but I had to
I think he
like
had something going on.
I had to like help Kale get back when we got back to his truck.
I've never had no.
And then what happened? My car was parked at the Y.
Yeah.
So we had to walk back to your truck. I had to like basically carry you, which I don't know anyone else that could carry Kale anywhere besides me.
I was about to
To
say,
be fair, okay, little thing I do want to
lift his
say.
ass and be like, man, you're on the ground, you're on your own.
I do want to say though, I've never had a mimosa until that day.
That would explain.
Well, you
why
liked
got
him.
Oh, I
plastered.
love them, dude. She got me the all you can drink pass for $40,
She did.
or was it $40 or $20?
So you're telling me Norfolk has a glorified holiday where for $40 I can drink my fill?
Yeah.
When is this?
Do they do
Is
it?
it in
August.
July or
August.
August?
It's
It's
around
August.
So what they'll do, they'll close from.
They have Cinco de Mayo going on this weekend.
Yeah, but you can't drink at it.
No drinking.
But people have been.
I know, right? I know. I know.
People have been sneaking drinks in from what I saw on Snapchat, but
Blast.
August 9th, our producer said. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So they block off Wells Fargo all the way down to, I think, to Firestone.
Yeah.
They block off the road.
They block off like a whole section
big
of
block party.
Norfolk Avenue.
And it's just trailers of different
Yeah.
mimosas.
Yeah. Just different mimosas, like the bars, and like they got food trucks.
Dude,
And so I had
live
to,
music and everything.
I had to basically carry Kale back to his truck. We drove to my car, which was at the Y. I had to carry his drunk ass out of his truck into my car because I was like, we're gonna go and stop and get in my car. Your truck can stay at the Y. And then as we're leaving town, he has his window down. His hat flies out the window.
This is
His
2
hat
years
flew
ago.
out the window.
This is
I'm
when
like, Kale, what are you doing, man?
This is when I
He's like,
started at
dude,
my job.
we gotta go back and get my hat, man.
It was my work hat. Out of all hats I wore, it was my 3E hat.
We gotta go back and get it. So I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I'm just like, at that point, I'm just like done. So I turn around.
Hats at work.
I turn
I
around.
still got the same hat. For
Dude,
2
I'm
years
pretty
ago.
sure it was a Detroit Lions hat, my
No,
guy.
it was a 3E hat. I remember.
So I go back and I run out and I grab it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, roll up your damn window. It was like storming out. It was like thunder and lightning and pouring rain.
It wasn't.
Pretty much. It was.
How would you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't even remember.
Dare you?
I don't. I think it rained earlier.
No, dude, it was pouring out when we left. That's why they stopped.
You could punch me in the face when I'm hammered and I wouldn't know.
Anyway,
But yeah, but then I got you guys back home and then I had to take you back in to get your truck the next day. Or maybe
I
I can't remember. But
think it was
yeah.
Maya, but
That was
the first thing I did, I got in the house, I beeline straight to that bathroom, and I was just. Ugh. But back to that other story though.
I can't remember why I just didn't want to drink, but it's a good thing I didn't that day.
You threw up the most.
Yeah.
And you still love
Yeah.
it. That's a sign of a really good drink.
Yeah.
I was
Divots.
gonna say, yeah.
They had the Divots Brewery, and then they had. I think that's I was getting from their little tent there.
Back when I was in,
I still have the cups.
Back when I was in college, I
keep the
threw up
cups.
Fireball, and I cannot drink that stuff anymore. Or
So
Jaeger.
Shane, and what I'm telling you is, looks like we got something going on in August.
Well, your birthday's in August
Yeah.
too.
All right. I'm down. You're talking all day drinking for $40?
Oh, hey, maybe them tariffs might change that, but I'm just saying.
If we're going to be honest, I got about 6 hours worth of drinking before I need a nap. And then I'm good for another 6. But I do need that nap.
You know, I don't know. I just remember too in that moonshine episode or story too. What was I gonna say? I puked in my car.
Remember when I puked in Nathan's truck?
Oh, you gotta tell that one. I don't think you ever did.
So Kale's old neighbor Nathan, we were drinking or whatever that day, and then
We went to his house.
we walked over and was shooting the shit with Nathan,
And we were hungry.
and the drunken hunger
We ate
came
Amy's
about.
Subway too.
Yeah, so we had Subway. Yeah, we had leftover Subway or whatever. Like
She won't.
his wife's Subway. And I ate it, and then all of a sudden, these fuckers, like, I was full, like, I was content. I'm like, dude, I'm like ready to go to bed, basically. And all of a sudden, they're like, dude, let's go to Taco Bell.
It was more me.
Of course. No, wasn't it Nathan too? I thought it was Nathan too. Anyway,
What's that supposed to mean?
anyway, I rode along, and I was gone. Like, I was just like ready to sleep. Had a belly full of Subway sandwich. I don't remember what kind. And I was drunk. And yeah, I puked in his truck on the ride because I was starting to get that motion sickness, like when you get drunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was his comment the next day? He's like, "Well, he sure chooses food good or something." Like it was.
Yeah. He's like, he sure chooses his food good.
Like it was like perfect. Like he said, it was like in perfect.
It was
like,
funny. We were in the drive-thru and he was just. He's like, "I'm so sorry, Nathan. I'm so sorry."
Shit. So my brother-in-law here, he was telling me a few weeks ago a story about one of their buddies was so drunk riding shotgun in the Taco Bell drive-through. He starts puking and they kick him out and he's just laying in the grass in the Taco Bell drive-through.
In Norfolk?
Yeah, Norfolk.
Oh, Jesus. I can't imagine.
I'm sure those guys are no strangers to having.
Remember when it was either my cousin Dylan
I
or
was just
Robbie
thinking about this.
pissed in the McDonald's drive-thru? Didn't he piss? Puked.
And then you hear someone in the
Was
background.
it Dylan or Robbie?
It was Dylan.
Okay,
Robbie never pukes.
that's true. He never does. I don't know how he doesn't.
Oh, yeah. Robbie got out of the car to get the pie. He was standing there at the drive-thru like this, like.
That weird like stance he does.
Shit, I don't think I've ever been drinking with Robbie.
I think he came here once.
Here?
Yeah, Yeah, Robbie.
Did he?
It was like. It was like a couple of years ago. It was like it was around Thanksgiving time.
Oh, yeah.
He was back for Thanksgiving
he
or
did, at the
Christmas
old
or something.
house, at the old house, he did.
I was gonna say, I've only been in this house for a year and some.
It was the old
Was
house.
it at your old house?
Yeah, to have been, because I swear I've not seen him in years.
Might have been your old house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably
There's
was.
been a lot of alcohol drunk in my old house.
Yeah.
And we're still drinking in the new house.
How is that?
Good.
First time I ever
It's
fucking
pretty.
met
It's
this
pretty
guy
damn good.
Drinks a fucking 12-pack in my backyard.
Oh, me?
Sitting at that fire. In like an hour and a half, man.
Go ahead and explain this again.
In like an hour and a half. God, it was late.
Yeah, Sam
And you
invited me
showed up
over. Yeah,
late.
Sam ran me.
Jordan was there too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Got my dad on standby.
But you had that 12-pack of banquets.
That's what I got in there.
Yeah, you got it now.
And this.
Tried and true, but like
Tried through.
shit, man.
I got a shirt.
It was late. I think I was ready for bed, and then you guys showed up, and you're like, "Well, I got a 12-pack. I'm gonna drink this while I'm here." And I'm like, "Okay, you have fun drinking as much of that as you can." No, you drank the whole fucking 12-pack in like
And I wasn't
an
even,
hour and a half.
I wasn't even drunk.
No, you were drunk,
I was not drunk.
buddy. You were wibble wobbling.
I was not wibble wobbling.
You were wibble.
I was not.
Was that the night you ended up with that empty box on your head, looking out the little finger holes?
No. No, that was at my house.
No, but you drank a whole 12-pack in like an hour and a half. You were wibble wobbling.
I was not. Well, I know what I was doing. I was not.
How
no,
would you know? You drank a whole 12-pack in an
I
hour
was.
and
I
a
was still good.
half.
I was still good.
Well, you drove home, didn't you?
No, we don't.
No
admit
comment.
To,
I
we
think
don't
you gave
admit
me
to-
right.
Maya picked you up.
No, you gave me a ride.
Oh yeah, I did you because I didn't drink. I wasn't
Yeah.
drinking.
And we stood there and we were like, oh yeah, we hear the wolves, or the coyotes.
This is a coyote.
Yeah, I don't understand wolves in Nebraska.
Thank God there's no coyotes
Hey.
around here. Or wolves.
I was gonna say what? You confusing
Wolves?
yourself.
Yeah,
now.
thank God there's no wolves around here.
Werewolves.
We're like, oh yeah, it's over here. No, it's over here. It's over here.
Yeah, no, coyotes are everywhere. They're like rats, but more vicious.
You know, there's a story, Sam. I think we need to tell, and
You good?
I think it's just I'm gonna actually wait till he gets back, but it's a story that's been need to be told on this podcast. For
I
so long.
just remember that one time I wasn't drinking at all because I thought I was training for nationals, and then Robbie backed out on me. Remember that?
Yikes! Yeah. So he's back. He's back. So
There you go.
we need to tell about the story about the old house, the basement story.
The basement story
What I discovered in
with a certain someone.
someone. You can name drop all you want. I don't give a shit.
Does his name start with an L and his
It
last
does.
name start with an M?
Milkman. We'll call him Milkman.
We'll call him Leviathan.
Leviathan, yes.
Leviathan the Milkman.
Gentlemen, this story is starting out like a bad Reddit.
Sam, do you wanna
All right.
We're
So
probably gonna give the best.
Mr. Leviathan the Milkman was
Jesus Christ.
Rolling with that, huh? All right, I'm down. I'm here
I'm
for
just
it.
gonna call him Milkman. Or
Mr.
Yeah,
Leviathan.
what are we in the fucking Roman times?
Mr. Leviticus.
Is this Julia and Rapunzel? Or this Rapunzel or whatever, like that kind of
No,
time?
dude,
Medieval?
it's the Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
What the fuck is happening?
Okay. This guy.
Okay.
Okay, we're just calling him Leviathan for now.
Milkman.
Jesus Christ. We're not done doing this shit.
All right. Long story short, he was a really good buddy of mine throughout all of high school, all of college. He was like, we played football together. He was my lifting buddy. This dude was like a brother to me, and he was one of the smartest guys I ever met. And then, for whatever reason, after he moved to Wayne with his then girlfriend, and they were yeah, moved to Wayne.
I almost moved to Wayne with my girlfriend.
And they
I married her.
stuff happened, like he ended up moving back and just got weird, and I ended up, like, before he got weird, I moved in with him. I mean, that was my first living situation after I moved out of my parents' house. This dude was just a creep. Like,
It gets worse.
he got fired from Target because he was waiting outside by their cars until they got off their shift.
I did not know that part.
Other girls that worked there.
I have one question. Has your butthole recovered?
Wow. Yikes.
So, yeah, this dude, like, he just made a complete 180 on his life. And he decided, like, I think it's a good idea to go into the Army.
All right.
Well, first you gotta talk.
I'm
about,
like, and I was like, what?
Well, first, prior to that.
Puts on a full winter suit.
What the hell?
Anyway, what?
We did. You did make videos about him singing and everything. And everyone just clowned him on Facebook.
Yeah.
Worst singer
I kind of
ever.
brushed over that, but
Anyway, we'll continue on to what you're saying.
he went into the Army, and I was like supportive of it. I'm like, okay, maybe this will help him like get back to normal. Well, it didn't. He got dishonorably discharged.
Ooh.
Essentially.
Essentially,
He came back and he thought he was like some hardcore like
Army vet.
yeah.
And don't get
When
me
he
wrong, we support our Army vets a lot.
Oh yeah, of course.
But this one is just
he was dishonorably discharged. Yeah, because of some stupid shit. But we thought we would do him a solid by letting him stay at the house on 11th Street
Yep.
that we used to live together.
Good times there.
And that lasted about a week.
No, it wasn't
so
even a week. It was
It was like 5 days, 4 or 5 days. He was living in the basement.
we fed him. We fed him good.
Good.
We had our producers trying not to laugh her ass off.
Anyway, he was living in the basement, and he was like, he thought he was like some hardcore like MMA trainer. He was doing MMA training on the totes, punching the totes.
my totes
full
and my stuff. And then I saw one night I was in Sioux Falls with my producer. Yeah, guys, so I gotta admit, I'm sleeping with the producer. Sorry.
Where you can.
Anyway,
Oh my god.
sorry.
She cringed.
Yeah, I think she's just disappointed. She should be excited because she's with someone that's famous. I'm kidding. I'm not no fucking famous person. Who am I kidding? Anyway, so I see his Snapchat. He's punching our shit and whatnot, and he was wearing my fucking clothes.
Yeah, he was wearing Kale's clothes for some reason. Don't know why.
So
And then eventually, anyway, all this stuff's going on. Eventually, we discover
I discovered it.
he discovered it.
I went downstairs and
The dude been shitting in a bucket.
Okay, so what I happened is I went down. give him the mic. Give him the mic.
Okay.
So I went downstairs. I went to go put up the flagpole. I was trying to find the flagpole to put the flag on outside. I see this bucket with like paper towels and everything, or toilet paper. I look, tip it towards me. I'm like, what the fuck? It's a bucket full of shit. I didn't even recognize the fucking drain clogged with shit. A turd floating around. Didn't even recognize that at first.
The drain in the basement, too.
And he took one of my totes.
A floor drain?
Yeah.
A floor drain.
Yeah.
Basement. Yeah.
And then he took one of my totes and he filled it up with that water. Yeah.
So
He said he told me, "Oh, I cleaned it up."
What,
he blamed it on the dogs.
hang on. So this guy was shitting into a floor drain, and I'm guessing a 5-gallon bucket?
Yep.
And what was the tote filled with water for what reason?
He said he cleaned up the mess of the water on the
So-
drain.
So his excuse,
I have
Was
pictures.
Your
I
stuff
have.
still in the tote?
I'll have to show you the pictures. I got the pictures.
I'm okay not seeing these photos.
his excuse for shitting in the bucket and the drain is that the house only had one restroom and you had to go through either sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
His excuse for shitting in the bucket and in the drain was the house only had one restroom, and you had to go either through their bedroom or my bedroom to get to it. And he didn't want to wake anyone up at night. And
It's
I'm
one
like,
of the
dude.
old school bathrooms.
And I'm like, dude, like, I told him, like, dude, like,
No, man. No. You go ahead.
You
Go
can-
shit in the toilet.
yeah, go to the bathroom.
Wait, what'd you tell him? He's like, I don't get what you said. I don't care.
Well, I'm like, dude, you can just, like, I understand if you don't want to go through their room, whatever. Go through my room, dude, if you got to use the restroom. Like, I do not care. You wake me up, I'll go right back to sleep. Like, I'm a heavy sleeper.
Dude,
Like,
this guy. Oh, I have another story after this one. This guy is a heavy sleeper.
so-
Anyway,
It's fucking weird.
I
Yeah.
waited.
So anyway, that
waited.
night, Kale tore him a new asshole, basically, and told him to get the fuck out.
And
He
you know what
probably
he
did.
tried to do to me? He's like, "Who's older? Who's older?"
Yeah,
I said,
He's-
I don't give a fuck. Who's
yeah. He
older.
tried pulling the who's older card. It's
I don't
like
give a
that.
fuck who's been on this earth
Like
longer.
that
His
is.
name is on the feed.
It's like that. That almost makes
That
him
was the
look.
rental.
That almost makes
Yeah.
him look worse though. Like he's older and he's shitting in a bucket. Like what's that? Like what's that say?
And maybe military people do that, and I get that, but still,
Okay, that's
they hear
military.
they hear the excuse of, "I don't want to wake you up," when you've been told you can go through there.
Dude, no, I work with a couple of military guys.
Yeah,
That does not scream
Yeah, I know.
military. That screams mental illness.
definitely.
Which, yeah.
So nowadays I mean, so actually let's backtrack a little bit. Fast forward a couple years from
This
then.
is just turning into gossip now. What's he doing now?
So I actually don't know and I don't care.
I
this
could
is a
give
guy
2 fucks
that-
less.
This is a guy like so him and one other guy were probably my best friends in high school. One of them went down a bad path. We don't talk anymore. I don't want to associate. This guy I was a little more sad about because he was literally like a brother of mine. And then he just made some really bad choices.
And now here I am.
But anyway, it was a couple years later and he somehow gets my Snapchat, I think, and hits me up and he's like he has a girlfriend now apparently at this time. And he hits me up and he's like asking me for money, like asking me to cash app him like $10 so he can buy dinner. And I'm just thinking like, dude, how like you can't afford to buy yourself dinner, but you have a girlfriend? Like, like I just feel like
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
like I just
Well, now he has a kid and
well
stuff,
yeah
you know.
and yeah, but yeah, he's doing his own thing now. But you know, and at the end of the day, like I don't wish anything bad to happen to anyone. You know, I wish him nothing but the best. But
Wish
I
it
just
to
don't-
him over there and not here.
exactly, yeah, yeah.
I wish him well. Then
I still want to see him
toilet.
eat, just not at my table. Essentially, is the analogy I'm going to use.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on with that family, unfortunately, but only one seems like they've had something promising going on. But kudos to her.
Touche.
I love that this particular podcast has started out about what do you think about the tariffs on Chinese to so this guy I knew is shitting in a bucket.
Hey,
Dude, that's literally how it is. We literally talk about anything.
yeah, we bullshit, partying bullshit.
That's all it is, really.
All right, fair enough. So we're just
I had another story and I can't remember what it was now. It involved you.
oh fuck.
Oh yeah. So we had bats in our house. We were-
Producer keeping us on track. I like it.
Yes, better than I can do it. But we we're sitting there in the living room. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and we're about to go to bed. And this fucking black thing comes out of nowhere, flying around. We're like screaming our heads off.
You racist.
I wasn't trying to be.
You shouldn't be racist just because it's different color than
Bruce
you.
Willis.
Okay, moving on. Anyway,
Sorry.
this flying thing, you know, we're screaming our heads off, and Sam didn't hear a damn thing.
That's when I lived with them.
Didn't hear a damn thing. And we wake up the next day and like, did you hear it screaming? No, I was knocked out. Yo, there's a bat. Yeah. We had to take care of that bat problem. What's to say that they're taken care of?
I got a bat story.
Okay.
Oh God. So when I was probably really young, younger than 10, we lived in this old house in Hardington, and we didn't know that how the bats were getting in at the time, but they were the chimney wasn't quite closed. Just like a couple inches maybe it was open, and the bats were climbing in and falling down the chimney, and
That's where they usually go.
Yeah.
So.
and they were fucking us up psychologically.
Yeah, they were
So-
doing that to us too.
First night we ever had a bat, it was basically me and my sister and my mom. And my mom freaked out, being a young woman at the time, and we basically cowered in her bed underneath the blanket for a while. My dad gets home. We catch that bat. Me and him, we catch that fucking bat. We didn't know what to do with it after that. And he was like, what do you think we should do with it? And I'm like 7 or 8. I'm like, flush it down the toilet.
Oh no!
Oh goddamn! It was the worst thing I think I have ever said, because he was like, that might work.
Like a fish.
That might work. Yeah, like a fish. You know bats can fucking swim?
Sorry.
Yeah, bats can swim,
Nice to know.
and they scream the whole time, sitting there in that little whirlpool. Oh my god, that was
That's
Traumatizing as shit.
God.
every bat we caught after that. We took out the front door and threw him out the front door. We
Whoop!
Yeah, we-
to back
we
the
did.
chimney.
Well, first of all, because I think we spent like a legit 10 minutes just flushing that fucking toilet, trying to get this bat to go down the drain, and he was not going.
Damn.
Yeah, it was not my proudest moment in life. So don't use toilets to dispose of wild animals.
It's a regrettable moment when I was
It
7
is.
years old.
Yeah, it's one of my greatest life regrets. If it's my biggest life regret, I think I've had a pretty good fucking life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't use the toilet to dispose of bats.
We don't condone killing them. I'm just gonna say that on record now.
Well, I think they're endangered or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want that PETA after us, you know. PETA.
I love that we all did that. Whose turn with the brain cell now? Yeah. So we
Well, I suppose about an hour in. About hour and
Well, look
8
who showed
minutes.
up.
Oh, Marty's here. Well lived at Marty. There's John.
Hi, John.
Hi,
John.
You can thank my autocorrect. You not? Yeah, you not see the Snapchat group?
His autocorrect corrected your name to John.
I was trying to do JK, and it said John. So I'm like, all right.
Jolly, because it rhymes
So we
with
got
Molly.
Miata, producer, Johnny Bravo, and Miata. Or Marty.
Yeah, Marty.
Again, another autocorrect incident there.
Yep.
No, I accidentally
He's
hit
fighting the good fight,
I
though.
accidentally hit the T instead of the R.
No, the T instead of the Y.
Yeah.
If you hit the T instead of the R, it'd be
Hey.
Matey.
Operator error. So anyway,
Maddie.
closes out.
You're kicking it with TNT Boys. Why don't you go ahead and follow Agent Life Media and take a look at Touching Base, Talking Dirt, Useless Assumptions, and those fools over at TNT Boys, Sam and Kale. Shane joined us today. Catch you next time. Peace out. Bye.